Hey Derek, let's take a look at this week 2 assignment 3 drawing. This is a terrific drawing with the color added to it. I think one of the things that you always want to try to go for when you add color to any of these compositions is to have the color actually benefit the drawing in terms of explaining what's going on in it. Not just kind of having color in there for diversity or for visual interest, but to really help clarify what's going on. And I think with the addition of the textures and the colors working together, I think even textures where I wasn't quite 100% sure what was going on, I think really make themselves clear now that things are color-wise in place. So I think the wicker especially seems to work out a lot better than what we were seeing in the black and white, even though it was no slouch back then. The brown coloring within it and some of the shadows and the highlights and a little bit of the darker reds and browns and yellows excuse me, they really turn out to create this great effect. And I think you're doing a great job with these colors to make everything feel very realistic. The brick has that very desaturated, kind of grayed out red, different colors going on, some yellow, oranges, and some reds in place. Great kind of texture on top of that kind of rough scratchiness to things. The stone, I think, is terrific. It feels like a semi kind of glossy marble-like stone. The metallic one, like I had mentioned in the last one, getting a little bit of that red in place and pulling that in, a little bit of that yellow pulling it in, helps to make it feel very reflective. And I think the wood coloring just works out really well. I think the addition of the value on top of all of this texture and all of this color just can make it rounds it out, I think, just completely. And the craftsmanship on everything feels just as good as it did before. I don't feel like the color in any way creates murky spots, and I just feel like you have a great handle on the materials. You're doing just a very good job of using what looks to be a little bit of some kind of white paint, the marker, some colored pencil, and the technique and everything really feel like they're working out well. So I think as far as feedback, I don't really have much to give you. I think that you could develop the background a little bit more, but that's not something that we are focusing on right now. It's definitely something we'll focus on next week, but I think this week it feels a little understated, especially for as so developed as the elements are. The background starts to really feel empty because it doesn't have any kind of color or any additional kind of work being put into it. But it's a minor qualm, and since, like I said, we're not really focusing on that, we're focusing on the color and the value right now. I gotta say, there isn't much I can give you in terms of criticism. I think it really turned out terrific, and I think it shows a great grasp of the materials and a very good eye for detail.